Good evening and welcome to the show. We are going to finish up with First Samuel tonight, and we're going to check in on my gut loss program. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. How are you all doing tonight? My name is Ron, I'm the host of the show, and it's my pleasure to share a devotional with you and hopefully give you something to meditate on. Now, I've been doing this for a while, and occasionally I get a handful of viewers. If you all want to leave me a comment, do a little chat group, that would be fine. I'm doing this for my benefit as well as anybody who listens. So let's get after it. Oh, let's start with the weight cut loss program. This is week 28, and I lost a little bit of ground this week. I gained 1 pound. I'm still under 200. I'm not overly concerned. I think my intestines aren't working quite the way they should. I haven't been uh, sitting on a can or making productive time on the toilet lately. So we'll uh, we'll see if we can get the intestines working a little better and get back on the downward slope of that weight. So I still got a little ways to go. Alrighty, we are in Samuel chapter 30 tonight. Back in chapter 29, David's at a different battle with his boys, and they're on their way home now. Three days later, when David and his men arrived home at their town of Ziklag, they found that the Amalekites had made a raid into the Negev and Ziklag. They had crushed Ziklag and burnt it to the ground. They had carried off the women and children and everyone else, but without killing anyone. When David and his men saw the ruins and realized what had happened to their families, they wept until they could weep no more. That's a pretty serious tragedy that just befell David and his men. They come home and their town's destroyed to rubble and their families are gone. I can't imagine what they would have gone through in that time. But uh, after they were done crying, uh, his men started talking about stoning him, but David found strength in the Lord his God. And he went to God and asked him what he should do. He consulted the Lord this time, didn't just go off, fly off the handle and get after things. And the Lord told him, yes, go after them. You will surely recover everything that was taken from you. So David and his 600 men set out, and they came to the brook Besor. But 200 of the men were too exhausted to cross the brook. So David continued the pursuit with 400 men. So the whole crew didn't keep going. Now we go a little bit further down in the reading, and David finds the Amalekites, And so he led David to them, and they found the Amalekites spread out across the fields, eating and drinking and dancing with joy because of the vast amount of plunder they had taken from the Philistines and the land of Judah. David and his men rushed in among them and slaughtered them throughout the night and the entire next day until evening. None of the Amalekites, except 400 young men who fled on camels. David got back everything the Amalekites had taken, and he rescued his wives. Nothing was missing. David brought everything back. He also recovered all the flocks and herds. His men drove them ahead of the others, of the other livestock. This plunder belongs to David, they said. Okay, now they're all happy with David. For a while ago they were going to stone him. Now it's all better. Here's the part that's worth meditating on. Then David returned to the brook Besor and met up with the 200 men who had been left behind because they were too exhausted to go with him. They went out to meet David and his men, and David greeted them joyfully. But some evil troublemakers among David's men said, "They didn't go with us, so they can't have any of the plunder." I think throughout our lives, there's always going to be people like that in our sphere of influence that want to lead you astray. David didn't fall for it. Give them their wives and children and tell them to be gone. But David said, "No, my brothers, don't be selfish with what the Lord has given us. He has kept us safe and helped us defeat the band of raiders that attacked us." David is saying, how should I put this? David's giving credit where credit is due. The credit belongs to God. If you think about it, everything in this world belongs to God. Some of us work hard to get some of the stuff from this world. Some steal and cheat and lie to get stuff in this world. Some people inherit stuff. No matter what stuff you have, if you keep in mind that it all belongs to God, then praising Him is just a daily part of life. Just get up in the morning and praise Him for all the stuff that He's given you. That'll make you feel better. There's something to meditate on. You all have a good night. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll get started in 2 Samuel tomorrow. And the word for this week is dystopian. Good night.